Oh my god. My heart rate right now, right? Oh my god. Is this even working? Oh, okay, it's working. Okay. My heart rate right now is like 180, right? I'm having a minor heart attack, okay? I thought the Western Force was gonna beat the Blues. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. The game went like 5 minutes overtime. The Western Force played 26 phases in extra time, like 5 meters south from the Blues try line. I thought for sure the Blues was gonna get away with a penalty. The absolutely perfect discipline. 26 phases, could not score. Oh, that was so close. There was a couple times where it looked like the Blues had caught on the wrong side of the rock. I was like, penalty? Nah, they rolled away just in time. There was a really long ball out wide where one of the Blues players rushed up and the Pasatoa, the number 10, got the ball off for the Western Force. Did I just break my... Did I just... Alright. And then it looked like that was a defensive mistake by the Blues. But Mataele get wrapped up on the wing. Oh my god, 26 phases. Woo! That was crazy. I mean, like, I honestly thought the Western Force could have been the Blues, man. Like, the Blues was so stacked. They had, like, what, half the All Blacks team. Like, there was just All Blacks players everywhere. Bowden Barry was on the field. And, man, and the thing is, the Blues came out this game, absolutely did everything you were expecting the Blues gonna do. Just flogging the Western Force. The Western Force didn't even look like they were in the same league, okay? So right from the start, it's actually really weird. Again, right from the start, the Western Force actually looked like the referee, Angus Gardner, was helping them out. Gardner issued a yellow card against the Blues less than 4 minutes into the game. And then the Force scores the first try and a penalty. So it looks like the Force was winning, and then the Blues just kicked back into gear and really absolutely powered through the Western Force. The Blues defense just absolutely impeccable this game. Like, it was like it hurts watching player running into the Blues defense. Like, it was just like watching one of those Jackass movie stunts where people like runs into a wall or like scooter into a wall. It was like watching that, like watching players running into a wall, and it was brutal, like watching this game. But the Blues, after the furious start against the Western Force, as you can see here, like 3 tries scored in the first half against the Western Force 1, they just look like they slow down a little bit, start to slow down. There's a thing here, right? So this game is played 10 p.m. Australian time. It's 12 noon, midnight in New Zealand when this game kicks off. So the Blues, is it 12 or is it 1? It could be 1 a.m. What's the time in New Zealand right now? Let's have a look. New Zealand time. It's 2 a.m. So this game kicked off at noon. Midnight. So this could be a thing. Like, it could be like way past the players' bedtime, and you can see the players just getting, like, yeah, the Blues just like they were just hanging in there, and they were happy to just be defending, and they didn't really have that. Yeah, like, it was kind of weird, and the Western Force was in the front foot for the second half, and there was one point, in fact, the Western Force had a player in the bin, and the Blues were still just on the receiving end whilst having a player advantage. So it was really, really like weird game. I felt like the time difference could have something to do with it. And yeah, what a weird game. So in the end, I honestly thought if the Western Force beats the Blues, I was gonna lose my mind. The Blues has like a history of being the chokers. I thought this was gonna be the biggest choke in Super Rugby and the biggest upset, and the Western Force doing the underdog thing last year. They almost beat the Chiefs. Oh, this year they almost beat the Blues. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. I'm like, I'm losing my mind watching this game. So yeah, overall, look at the stats. That's insane. The Western Force 468 run meters to the Blues 292, and like you would think this stats is the other way around, right? And turnovers conceded 16. The Blues did really well with the 4-packs at the breakdown, so they were able to turn over the ball a lot of, diffuse the pressure a lot of the times with their turnovers at the breakdowns. Tackles, 230 tackles for the Blues. 26 missed tackles to the 100, like more than double the tackle count for the Blues, man. Oh my god. To the 14 missed tackles from the Western Force. Kicks in play, 24-22. The Western Force the Blues kicking game was definitely a little bit better than the Blues kicking game was definitely a little bit better than the Western Force. You know, obviously Bowden Barrett, huge part. But also the Blues had moments where their kicking was just not good. So like when Bowden gets the ball, it's like he's really good. And then sometimes you get like, Bryce Him just kicks the ball out on the full. But yeah, it was kind of like weird. So there's just small mistakes. That's just keeping the Western Force, giving them opportunity back to Western Force again and again. So in the end of the game, the main difference is the kicking, the goal kicking. 1 penalties apiece, 3 missed goal kicks for the Western Force player. This was a huge thing as well. So the Western Force scored a try on the 75th minute, and they just subbed on Ian Pryor. And we know Ian Pryor has a really high kicking percentage. And for some reason, they didn't let Ian kick. So I thought that was a huge mistake by the Western Force. Ian Pryor, if Ian Pryor had taken that kick, the point difference would have been 2, and all Western Force had to do is get 1 penalty in the kicking range to win the game. But the Blues didn't even consider penalty. That's the thing though. The Blues didn't even consider penalty in that last 3 minutes, 5 minutes of just conceding like 26 phases of the Western Force attack. So even then, they still couldn't have won, but still, it would have been like, it would have probably made a difference. Just, you never know, right, with these things. But yeah, I thought it was a bit of mistake, not letting Ian Pryor taking that final kick when he was on the field. That's the reason you brought him on, right, for the experience and the composure. And then the Rocks, man, I like the lineouts. The Blues, surely this is not a Blues lineout. The Blues lost 5 lineouts. Yeah, actually, no, it was. The Blues lost 5 of their own lineouts. Their lineouts were horrendous. There was at least 2 that was just not straight. Like, it was horrendously not straight. It wasn't even like, oh, it's just a little bit. Like, the ball didn't even get anywhere near. Like, it was just like, literally, you look like the ball was going straight for the number 10, right? It was so bad. The lineout was so bad throws. And also, the Blues had the lineout stolen multiple times by the Western Force as well. So it wasn't just their own errors that's given away, but they were stolen as well. So the Western Force has much better lineout, believe it or not, than the Blues. Scrums, the Blues actually had a more dominant scrum. Despite the fact that the Western Force didn't lose any scrum, the Blues were definitely in the ascendancy on the scrums. Penalty count in the end, 14 for the Blues against the Blues, 11 against the Western Force, 1 yellow card each. Both of them, I think, are because of repeated penalties, and nothing really cynical happened. I think there was one point where there was like a high shot against the Blues. Blues player put on a Western Force guy, the Western Force prop, and then I thought that could have been a yellow card there. The referee deemed that the issue contact was like on the shoulder against the ball, and and then it basically was no penalty. So yeah, I thought that should have been a yellow card because he did hit the Western Force, what's his name, Robinson on the head. Yeah, but anyway, let's quickly go through this crazy game. So, right from the beginning of this game, right, it looked like Angus Carter was the 16th player on the field for the Western Force, right? So, right from the beginning, he was like, the referees are really hard on the offside this game. So, right from the get-go, the Blues were giving away 3 offsides in about 4 minutes, right? So, the Western Force gets an opportunity to kick for 3 points. So, they get 3 points on the ball. in less than, it was like what? Like 2 minutes or something on the clock? Yeah, 3 minutes on the clock, right? And then immediately after this 3 points are kicked, Blues gets caught offside again. And Garner just goes, that's is it 3 or 4 offsides in less than 4 minutes? Yellow cards a Blues player. Who was it that got yellow carded? Let's quickly take a look. Yeah, Sam Darry gets a yellow card 4 minutes into the game, right? And then at this point, you're just like, what? It was just, yeah, it was kind of like, normally you don't expect a yellow card to be given this early, especially this yellow card wasn't given at 5 minutes before your trial, and this was like just middle of the field, halfway, around the halfway point. So there's nothing like there was nothing like there was nothing like cynical, or there was the Western Force wasn't in any situation to score points, right? So they were still given a yellow card. So this was a little bit bizarre. And then obviously the Western Force gets the opportunity, gets this opportunity to attack into the into the Blues 22, and just nice little attack. The Blues putting up really good defense, but finally there was a little, not like the Western Force has done this really well. Then a little like forwards loop behind to one of the backs, back into the 10, and then just balls go over the top. Martello on the wing goes in for the try, and immediately the Western Force is up 8 points to 0. 8 minutes into the game, the Western Force misses conversion, and the commentators kind of like jinx the kicker a little bit. But yeah, I don't believe in jinx. But they're talking about themselves jinxing the kicks. But yeah, anyway, so they missed the Western Force. What's his name? Number 12 was doing the kick. Let's get his name up. Yeah, Konzo was missed this kick from the sideline. That was a difficult kick, so I don't really blame him for that. And then there was some good attacking from the Blues a couple minutes later. After this try was scored, the Blues just really took control of the game, to be really frank. So on the 11th minute, there was some really good attacking by the Blues. Just really, like every time the Blues ran the ball, the Western Force was just going backwards. It was just like giving away, conceding territory like no tomorrow. And the Blues weren't doing anything fancy, just basic stuff like 1 pass, 2 passes, crashing the ball. And the Western Force just going backwards. Yeah, so 11th minute, Blues gets a penalty. Bowden Barrett slots this one quite easily. On the 17th minute, the Western Force starts giving away a lot of penalty now. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck did really well this game. He actually played. Yeah, I thought he played. This is probably one of the better games that he played ever since he started playing Union. He was really good at running the ball, finding those spaces. Like every time he gets the ball, he was able to get over the advantage and quite good, and able to get the ball free a number of times. And sure enough, this time he gets the ball, draws 2 players essentially, and then still makes the half break. Slips the one hand away, pops the ball out onto his winger. Is it Lamb? He manages to free the ball, but eventually the Blues, eventually the Blues were just able to crash the ball. Eventually, Daryl just crashes in after getting back from the yellow card. He's all full and fresh apparently. Goes in for the Blues, pummels through for the Blues for the first try, 17 minutes in. So 10 points to 8, Blues gets back in front by 2 points. And then 4 minutes later, on the 21st minute, the Blues just start attacking again, just running the ball. And the Western Force isn't looking like they're contesting the breakdowns. So the Blues were just getting really quick balls and just building that momentum. Every time they get the ball, they go to the advantage line and quick balls again. They started attacking from the 40-meter line, following a turnover for their own from the Western Force, and then eventually they get really close. Akira Ioane gets the ball. He bumps through 3 players. He gets a short ball from his halfback, bumps through 3 players, goes in for the try. Akira Ioane. Yeah, his brother isn't even playing this game, so he goes in. Blues up 17 points to 8. At this point, I swear the Blues kicking game really starts to show. Bowden Barrett's kicking is clearly like the superior kicking here. On the 29th minute, the Blues gets put on more pressure against the Western Force. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on the win. Like I said, he bumps through one of the players. Marta comes out to try to cut him off on the offload, but he just he fakes the pass and he bumps through the defender, So the Matt Taylor gets like kind of like overruns the intercept, and then he just pops up the ball anyway with his one hand to AJ Lamb. AJ Lamb jumps in, dunks the ball into the corner. 29 minutes in, Blues 3 tries already. And at this point, the Western Force is looking like they're getting completely outclassed. After this, on the 42nd minute, so after this, the Blues kind of just settled down a bit. Okay, so going to halftime, the Blues were 3 tries to 1, and a penalty, and the Blues, what was the score? Was 22 points to 8 at halftime. So the Blues did not score a single point in the second half. There you go. Second half starts. The game gets worse. Actually started really bad for the Western Force. Look like things are gonna get worse. Medrano gets yellow card for the Western Force for entering right from the side. Cynical penalty. Only 2 minutes in the second half. So the Western Force were down 1 player, and you figure that the Blues would just continue the punishment from the first half. But it wasn't the case. The Western Force turned this around, and maybe like the time difference starts to kick in. The Blues players maybe just like on that low, starting to get that that low point in their energy level. The Western Force starting to pile up a lot of pressure despite having a play in the bin. The Blues were not able to score. They were able to just kind of like hold on with a really good defense. On the 52nd minute, it looked like the Blues player had hit Robertson on the shoulder and the head. No yellow card. Again, the referee interpretation is starting to change a little bit again. So a minute later, on the 53rd minute, the Blues cast their own line out in their own half. It finally looked like the Blues gonna get themselves out of trouble. Western Force steals the line out, quite important. But it took all the way to the 62nd minute before the Western Force pressure finally paid off. So they had the pressure on the Blues pretty much from the 45th minute all the way to the 62nd. So for about 10 minutes, it took the Western Force to finally, not more than 10 minutes, to finally break through the Blues defense. Jeremy Thrush just powers himself through and gets the ball down for a try for the Western Force. And it's just one of those things where eventually you felt like this was going to happen. It's just a matter of who. Jeremy Thrush finally breaks through. And after this try was scored, you can see like the Blues were just tired. And this one, again, the conversion was missed, and the commentators kind of like jinxed it as well. The commentators were like, "Oh, they really needed this conversion. It was really important," and he missed the conversion, right? And at this point, there's still like almost 20 minutes left on the clock. Still, 15 points to 22. The Blues still could just turn the game around and like pull the game away, but no. The Chokers start choking really hard at this point. The Western Force continue to pile on pressure. The Blues were just like not. This is where the line out starts getting really bad for the Blues as well. They start to like throw their own line out, not in straight, uncontested as well. Just throws it not straight. On the 74th minute, the Western Force final. I think it was the number 10. The Blues kicking game starts looking kind of bad as well. It's just the kicking game wasn't getting pressured. So they were kicking the ball down, and then the Western Force weren't getting pressured and just start running the ball back. And sure enough, at this point, I think it was the number 10 from the Western Force, gets the ball and just slips through a gap from the kick, slips through a gap due to the poor chase from the Blues. He runs through, and I think he might have offloaded, but he basically runs through, and he looked like he was free. There was one player coming up to tackle in the fullback, and then he kicks the ball forward, and the fullback just takes him out late. Referee gives a penalty, so the Western Force goes for a line-out on this penalty. This was a absolutely beautiful line-out, by the way. So this line-out, 2 dummy moves. So the line-out goes to the sixth. I guess you call it sixth position. So it goes to the far jumper. He jumps up, and he looks like they're gonna set up a line-out, set up a maul. He pops the ball forward to the 2 position, to the 2 position, you can say, and it looked like they're gonna set up so you look like they're gonna set up a more at the 2 position, so you look like there was a dummy more at the sixth position, like really far back, and it looked like they're gonna set up a maul there, and that was a dummy maul as well. They just popped the ball, they popped the ball up to one of the receivers looping around, crashes into the train tracks, and then the Blues were just like completely off guard. So the Western Force gets really close to try line from this, and then just follow the momentum. Abrad picks up the ball, drives over for a try for the Western Force. The reserve, I think it was the reserve prop. And this was this line out I did not expect. I thought it was you got me fooled. I thought it was a dummy maul at the sixth position, and they're gonna transfer to the two position, and then it was dummy maul at two position as well. So two dummy mauls in one line out. I can't remember the last time I've seen this before. So yeah, it was really good. And then they get their try on the ball. Suddenly there was 5 minutes left. Western Force trying to score. They basically try to run the ball out from inside their own 22. There was a couple of penalties, piggyback helping them out. They get basically about halfway, and then just pile on pressure. So around the 81st minute, there was something really weird happened. The Force was about 22 minutes out of the Blues try line. They ran the ball and they dropped the ball. And then everyone's like, oh, Gardner's like, all right, that's it. I think that's knocked on. That's it. And then just before he's about to blow the whistle for the full time, the touch judge tells Gardner the Blues were offside. So Gardner's like, oh, no, wait, penalty, offside. So Western Force gets another shot. They kick the ball out for 5 meter line out. Man, I was losing my mind. I thought the Blues surely was going to give a penalty away. 26 phases. 26 phases. The Western Force running into a brick wall for 26 phases. Man, my neck is hurting. My head is hurting from watching this. And yeah, not even a single penalty was given. Not even like a slither of help of opportunity was given to the Western Force. In fact, the Blues defense was so good, Western Force was going backwards. And yeah, 26 phases, no try. Eventually, the Blues turns the ball over. Game over. Yeah, this was crazy game. I haven't watched a game that was this entertaining so far in Super Rugby, I would say. Yeah, this was good. This was really good. Let me know your thoughts, guys. And man, another game where the Western Force so close, such a huge upset against the Chokers. Woo! Let me know your thoughts, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys tomorrow.